Hi. Now we are going to the chapter fourth. Uh, as part of our environment, the fourth chapter introduces to atmosphere, and we are going to see in detail. As I mentioned, please first do the MCQs and then come to this chapter. Now, what happens is whatever we are learning today, as we grow ahead in the class, and slowly, when you have because these are the topics which will be in detail for UPSC as well. The NCERT books have introduced them now. As per the old syllabus wise, these are a part of geography. So hence your understanding of these chapter needs to be so these are the foundation. So you need to be very clear, especially image wise. When you see the image, okay, this is part of this is how the earth looks, this is how the the structure. So you have to practice it in your chapter notes, which is there. You have to draw from the NCERT books. I have not drawn and shared in the chapter notes, but as an activity, you have to draw all the structures in your notes. So the chapter, firstly, I mean, let me just do it a different way. Let me summarize what this chapter will be having. The chapter, the atmosphere and its importance. The Earth is surrounded by a blanket of air called atmosphere. The atmosphere provides essential gases for survival, protects living beings from harmful solar radiation. It regulates temperature, preventing extreme heating during the day and freezing at night. Greenhouse effect and global warming. Carbon dioxide CO2 traps heat radiation from the Earth, creating a greenhouse effect. Without CO2, the Earth would be too cold for survival. Human activities such as industrial emissions and vehicles fume increases CO2 level, leading to global warming. Global warming results in melting polar ice caps, rising sea levels, and climate changes that may cause species extinction. Composition of atmosphere. Air is a mixture of gas, nitrogen essential for plant growth, fixed by soil bacteria, oxygen 21% required for respiration, carbon dioxide 0.03% used by plants in photosynthesis. Other gases, argon, helium, ozone, hydrogen, and dust particles are also present. The balance of oxygen and CO2 is maintained by respiration and photosynthesis. Human activities like burning fossil fuels disrupt this balance, distributing to climate change. Now, the structure of atmosphere, which you can see in the diagram as well, is troposphere 0 to 13 kilometers. The structure is divided into five layers. The first layer is troposphere, most important layer for life. Weather phenomena like rainfall, fog, and storm occur here. Stratosphere, 13 to 50 kilometers, contains ozone layer, which absorbs harmful UV rays free from clouds, making it ideal for airplane flights. Mesosphere, meteorites burn up in this layer upon entering the Earth's atmosphere. Thermosphere, temperature rises rapidly with height. Ionosphere reflects radio waves. Exosphere, outermost layer where gases like helium and hydrogen escape into space. Weather and climate. Weather, short-term atmospheric conditions. Example, rain, sun, wind. Climate, average weather over a long period. Insolation, the amount of solar energy received by Earth decreasing from equator to poles. Air temperature and its effect. Factors affecting temperature, day and night variations, seasonal changes, distance from the equator, urban heat island effect. Cities are hotter than villages due to concrete structures trapping heat. Air pressure is the force exerted by air on the Earth's surface. As altitude increases, air pressure decreases, highest at the sea level. Temperature increases air pressure. High temperature is equal to low pressure, air rises. Low temperature is equal to high pressure, air sinks. Air moves from high pressure areas to low pressure areas, creating winds. Winds and its types. Wind movement of air from high pressure to low pressure areas. Types of winds. Permanent winds like trade winds, westerlies, easterlies. Seasonal winds change direction in different season. Example monsoon. Local winds blow in specific direction during particular times. Cyclones and their impact. Cyclones are formed due to low pressure system over warm oceans. Moisture and rainfall, humidity, amount of water vapor in the air, precipitation, water falling off the earth, rain, snow, sleet, hail. Impact of rainfall, adequate rainfall essential for agriculture and water supply. Excess rainfall leads to floods and causes droughts. Now, looking at the chapter which we have, see there is a composition of composition of atmosphere. You see this pie chart. You need to remember this. Mention of global warming. Now, this is a very good layer of Earth, a layer of atmosphere, five-layer atmosphere. So, if you see, this is troposphere, then stratosphere, then mesosphere, then thermosphere, then exosphere. The boundary between troposphere and stratosphere is called tropopause. This is like a cap. Stratosphere and mesosphere is called stratopause. Mesosphere and thermosphere is called mesospause. Exosphere and thermosphere. There's nothing naming. Now here, this is the graph of how the temperature behaves. As we go up in the troposphere, the temperature decreases. It will decrease till you can see. Okay, we'll know in detail. It will be in the minuses because you when you climb mountains, you feel cold, so that temperature increases. But in stratosphere, another thing happens. Slowly, as we go near to the surface of exosphere or outside, the temperature after being stable, it starts increasing again to minus 2 towards positive. Again in mesosphere, the temperature again decreases to or negative or minus. As we are again, so now these are the areas where you see comet activities, meteorites activities. So this layer and their activities, different height decides what is that layer performing as. So what are the activities happening in these layers? So it is mentioned in the chapter here, and I've also summarized. Then there is a little bit fundamental on weather versus climate. What is a weather? What is a climate? And about the temperature, air pressure, wind, and this beautiful diagram of how the major pressure belt and wind system of the earth. Now, if you are unable to understand this now, it's okay. Just see that this is the equator, okay, and this is the pole. Your sun has to move from Tropic of Cancer 23 and a half north to 23 and a half south. This is what the sun does. Movement. So when sun insolation is falling on this area, this will be definitely hot, and here the insolation is less, so it is cold. Now remember, when you see open your refrigerator or when you open the ice box of your refrigerator, how icy it is, how the cold air comes out, like that. Similarly, is the scenario over here. It is high pressure, it is full of ice, and the pressure of wind is very high pressure but cold. But in this region, that is equatorial region, because of lot of sun rays falling on it, the air becomes thin and rises up. Warm air rises up, thus creating a low pressure. Now, if you see a beaker, when the beaker is heated, the water which is warm, it rises up, becomes lighter and rises up. And the water which is heavier or cold goes and takes its place. Okay. So if this is the process that warm air rises and cold air comes to replace it, same is happening over here. The moment the warm air rises, the nearest pressure belt from where the air comes is called tropical high pressure belt, and the air comes and tries to take the place in the equatorial, and that is called as trade wind. Same at the other level at 60 degree north. There is another low pressure belt. Again, from tropical high pressure belt, it goes over there. It is called as westerlies. It tries to take this. Because there is a low pressure, high pressure from the cold air is again coming. These are called polar easterlies. So that is how the wind circulation or wind cycle happens. These are certain permanent wind cycles which are called trade winds, westerlies, and easterlies. Trade winds, westerlies, and easterlies. If this has to be permanent, then what other thing has to be permanent? The pressure cycles. Yeah, but it will be low pressure at the equator. At tropics, it will be again high pressure, and then there will be subpolar low pressure, and then there will be high pressure at poles. So this has to be permanent, and then only these trade winds can run, or these permanent winds can run. So that you need to remember. And when we see the Earth map of the world, you will realize certain places fall over it, and there will be a lot of geographical values because of this wind and their movement itself. If you did not understand it now, don't worry. I will tell you in the next. When we will have detailed lectures, you will understand everything. But understand that there is how the wind movement happens. And there is the introduction of how cyclone happens also, and what are the various type of rain and convectional rains, orographic rain, cyclone rain. So you read through them and you will understand that if the water is carried by air after reaching certain height, it becomes very heavy. It cannot hold the air so much, so it falls. So that is called as orographic. Similarly, in convection rain, when there is a temperature difference happening due to heat, warm air rises, again cloud forms, and then convection happens. Now this happens in summers, and then there is a cyclonic rainfall because of the pressure. Wherever there is a low pressure, immediately cold air comes, try to rescue it. The moment cold air comes, it brings with it humidity. Because of the exchange of cold and warm, again the rain happens. So you will realize this. So this details are there in the MCQs are there. You do the MCQ. Please draw this diagram. Draw. This is very important. Major pressure belts and wind system and this layers of atmosphere. This is important diagram from this particular chapter. Thank you.